Happy opening evening to these two teams. Live from the Ivan, Atlanta, Georgia, it's the Florida Storm taking on the Atlanta Swarm to open season 24 for both squads, alongside statisticians Ron Haynes and Corey Menner. I'm Colin, joined in the broadcast booth once again by my sidekick, Rick.
Let's go! Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the VFN.
The Storm, another postseason appearance for them, following a 9-win regular season. Atlanta also made it to the postseason at 6-6, but like the year before, they lost the playoff game. But slate is now clean, Rick. Should be an exciting one.
Everybody's tied in the table. Let's get this thing underway.
Atlanta's going to receive, so Ethan Sneed to kick off for Florida. And we'll see Brian Dynasty and company on the field first as we're underway. This kickoff will boom to the back of the end zone, kneeled down by Siege Falco. Ball comes out to the 20. Brian Dynasty is the quarterback. Hubbard Kimbrell is the halfback. First season in Atlanta. DDG Hollywood is the primary ball carrier, the Hall of Famer, number 34. Tori Hanzo, new to the squad, is the fullback, number 48. Previously spent time at Carolina. There's Fox Highwind, one of the wide receivers in motion, also serves as GM off the field. This is the 1st and 10 Dynasty, back to throw, and the throw away, and finds Highwind for the first down, up over the 30-yard line for Atlanta.
Well, that's a good play to get started. Just a quick inside leverage right there, Colin.
Indeed.
Indeed. Hey, that's your lazy word, boo. Pay attention to me. I'm the commentator guy.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Lexa throws Dynasty again. Fires downfield, tipped in the air and incomplete. Knocking it away was Ryan Davidson, number 27, the corner.
Davidson just kind of got in the way of the throwing lane there and able to tip that away.
For the rest of the Atlanta team, the wide receivers, we already mentioned Fox Highwind, Siege Falco, number 17. He used to do everything. Coach Booches and the Hall of Famer, and Ryan Roosevelt, number 87. As we get a draw play up the middle, Hollywood will get stopped 2 yards short of 6. Up front, Sam Falco, Carter Hollywood are the tackles. Bobby Falco and Roy McCroy are the guards, both undrafted rookies. Asher Smith snaps the ball to Dynasty here on this 3rd and 2. We'll get to the Florida defense after this play, which will be a handoff up the middle to Kimbrell, and he has enough for a first down. As Atlanta is firmly on the move here in the early going as we take under 9 minutes to go. For Florida up front, Deontay Stoneville, Alessandro Tomelo are the defensive ends. Landon Odom, the undrafted rookie, is tackle along with number 93 Pete Mitchell. Ryan Tobin, Jesus Smith, Ron Mississippi are the backing core. As the throw is picked up! Oh. Picked off on the play. What a play made by Daniel Wright, the free safety. Dynasty threw it right to him. My goodness. A big player in this game. Pass intended, I believe, for Roosevelt. So Florida comes out on offense, led by Ron Cochran, the Hall of Famer. Both Valetsky's the tailback. Chris Kamazak, the fullback. Stephen Bush, Caleb Griffiths, Art Vandelay are the wide receivers. Rookie and drafted tight end Rodney Smith joins the veteran Ron Haynes. So we'll get Valetsky here on this carry. Picks up 5 yards in the second 5.
Valetsky just doing some straight ahead stuff there. Testing out the D-line, Colin, and see how the O-line can execute their blocks here in the early sledding.
Randy Fatt III is at left tackle. Joseph Wade and Greg McDonaldson are the guards. We'll introduce you to the Atlanta defense here shortly. I formation for Ron Cochran, 2 backs behind him in the I. return give. This is Kamazak lined up at 2, and he picks up the first down.
Move them sticks as they now start to get a little further into the plus territory, Colin.
Yeah, good blocking there by the rookie tight end Smith. Wolf Highwind is the defensive end, along with Baron Wett, Atlanta's first-round pick. Number 7 overall. Alex Dominguez, the veteran, actually a former Storm member. Defensive tackle. That's a nice TFL made on one of the more slippier backs you'll see. Bullet Valatsky. For 56, Jeff Spicoli, I believe.
Spicoli, danger is my business.
Made the
and Atlanta sent an extra rusher, and it paid dividends as they were able to get in the backfield and break up that little screen play.
Quanta Shine, other outside linebacker, he's a Hall of Famer. Stole it. Henry makes the interception, and Chris Henry, the king, decrees, I shall have this ball instead of Florida. And the Swarm pick it right back, denying the scoring opportunities. Henry stepped right in the path, vandalizing intended receiver.
Yeah, the Swarm killed off a promising drive there that Florida was working on, Colin. So Atlanta gets another shot at this thing. Halfway decent field position on their own 38.
Actually, correction on that previous tackle attempt. That was actually Wolf Highwind, Fox Highwind's son. Number 55 on the tackle, not 56.
Wolfgang or just Wolf?
Just Wolf with the E silent. Dynasty back to throw, fires underneath, caught by Roosevelt, wearing number 87 in your program today. Picks up 5, that'll be 2nd and 5.
Looks like they might sense a little softness in the short passing game here, Colin. See if they continue to mix that in and exploit that here against the Florida D.
2 tight ends on the field. One back, that's Hollywood, the Hall of Famer, gets the ball, breaks 1 tackle, but not the second. That'll set up a 3rd and 1 as we welcome Marcus Dunhill into the chat, former Atlanta Swarm Championship winning quarterback.
Indeed.
Now playing ball with the Carolina Skyhawks as Hubbard Kimbrell checks in for this 3rd and 1 situation off the turnover. Ball close to midfield. Arrow out in motion. There's the 1 wide receiver out there. Give to Kimbrell, and he has the first down for Atlanta as we're now under 6 minutes to go in the 3rd. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your player today by joining our Discord server at simfl.net. Click the join community button and begin your career just to meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It's never too late to get involved, is it, Rick?
It is never too late. Now's a good time to get involved.
Here's Hollywood on the carry, spins away, and breaking tackles. He shut that guy like he had butter on him as he picks up 7 yards to be 2nd and 3.
We're not going to get another look at it. A little bit of a sideways hop, maybe a spin move in there, and fights for some extra yardage. Gets him way ahead of the sticks. 2nd and 3.
All right, let's wrap a bow on that Florida Storm defense. So, Daniel Wright, he had the interception last drive. He's at free safety. Andrew Francis is at strong safety. Ryan Davidson is at corner, number 27. Evan Carroll, number 29. Ness Ginkle is the team's top rookie. He was number 24 overall. He's number 23 in your program. And Atlanta picks up the first down with ease as they give it to the Hall of Fame tailback, Rick, and he's making short work of this.
Man, I don't know how many good plays we've called and seen him make over the years, Colin. Just an outstanding piece of the team and the SFL.
Draw play up the middle. Hollywood will gain 4 yards on the play. That'll be 2nd and 6. Rick, these teams, well, they played each other a lot. In fact, they played each other 11 times, and
11.
Florida won the last meeting 23-6. That was back in season 23, week 15.
And there's a dive ahead for a first down. Colin, sorry to interrupt you.
Florida's won 3 home matchups. Atlanta's actually lost 3 matches here at home. And Florida's had success on the road against Atlanta, so.
Maybe that'll hold true today.
Here's to get to Hollywood up the middle, and Hollywood flies ahead. He gains 2 yards on the play. Hubbard Kimbrough is now that back behind Hollywood, spelling him. They did not have a contracted second string halfback last year. You see Daniel Wright had 3 tackles on the ball game so far, plus the 1 interception. It's his 2nd and 8. Everybody in tight, to throw underneath. What a nifty catch made by number 64, one of the linemen lining up as eligible.
Oh, lineman tackle eligible. Let's go.
3rd and 3. Again, they line up with 2 tight ends out of the eye. Dynasty to throw. Has time, fires down the field. It's a little too tall, incomplete. Falcon, the intended receiver, unable to come up with the ball. And Sammy Steele, who was special teams player of the season back in last year, in his 10th year, all with Atlanta, on for this 40-yard attempt.
Yeah, no, you got a strong kicker like that, okay, take a shot, but really it was 3rd and 3, and you're having some success. Why not, but they take a deep shot.
12 plays, 39 yards, 4 minutes, 19 seconds taken off the clock, and Sammy Steele, that's the first points of the year for Atlanta. It's a 3-0 lead here for the Swarm.
Atlanta breaks the ice. And let's see if Florida can answer here.
Our friends over at Dex Data have the Swarm as a 4.5-point underdog. We talked about the Atlanta struggles at home versus this Florida team. So the odds makers over Jack's Data clearly took that into consideration. Over under 48.5 as Griffiths will down this in the end zone. Ball comes out to the 20. Florida wearing his light blue with white helmets and white pants. And you see the oversized logo on the Storm helmets with the diamond pattern. It's just brilliant.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I wonder if the gearheads at Jack's Data are thinking, Florida just seems to have Atlanta's number in Atlanta, and that'll continue.
Here's Boletsky up the middle. He's stopped by the Hall of Famer. That's Shine, number 58, making the stop. No gain on the play. 2nd and 10. Atlanta wearing their all blacks with the oversized Swarm logo on the pants, as well as other decorative patterns. Those green helmets with white numbers on the jerseys as the pass was tipped away nicely on the play by number 24, Grant Hardaway, one of 2 free safeties rostered. Moose Papineau is the other. Jay Miraculous is one of the corners. Zach Lay, free agent pickup from Vancouver, along with Anthony Weil, the other corner. And Chris Henry, he had the interception, was an all-star back in season 22.
There's a sprint out.
Throw backside, and almost another interception. The Moose was trying to knock that one loose and maybe get it in its paws, but alas.
Yeah, 2 things about that one, Colin. It was a great play design, and it was thrown late and nearly picked off. He needed to hit that sprint out mark, a half beat sooner and let that sucker fly.
Marcus Agrippa, he's been here as long as Ethan Snead has, 11 years. This is a very veteran team. Very few new pieces come in. Florida's one of the better squads in the league at roster retention is the word. Atlanta's got a couple of new pieces in key areas, including fullback there, Tori Hanzo. Spent the previous 6 years with the Carolina Skyhawks. He's back there in the I formation in front of Hollywood, and Dynasty at the throw, and Hawaiians back to throw. A little short dump underneath will pick up about 7 yards, and number 3 in your program, but QB1 for Atlanta has his team on the move.
And a 2nd and 3. It's deja vu all over again. Hello, Yogi Berra. See if they can pick this up. Last time they got to third and inches and then took a deep.
Here they get to Hollywood. Hollywood gets a great block from Hanzo, and they deny him the first down.
I'm sorry, they did not take the deep shot on 3rd and inches last time. They actually converted. It was the next series of downs where they stalled out and took a deep shot. 3rd and 3.
3rd and inches out of the eye. Kimbrell the back now. You can see him by the neck roll, number 26 there, and he gets the ball, and the refs will give him the spot.
That's close. Will we see a challenge flag here, Colin?
Yes, we will. Let's take a retroactive look at the play presented by Retroid, as Coach Vandelay wasn't obviously happy with that call. You can get your SFL, get your console to play the SFL on the go at GoRetroid.com. Rick, this is we're coming down to not inches but millimeters.
Millimeters. We're going full metric system on this one, are we?
As Juan Mississippi
I think he's short.
Stopped him, I
think he might be short.
You see Guy Clausen in the chat. He says, wait, they gave him the first, and the official said, my bad, and overturned the call on the field. Coach Vandelay wearing a very nice
Guy the Glide calls it right.
Shirt is very happy with the call.
Oh, sorry, the nice shirt. You paused. I thought you were done. I'm complimenting his haberdashery. Oh, and there's your first vocabulary word of the night, haberdashery.
And Atlanta's lined up to go for it on 4th and now a full yard to go. They snap it, get to Hollywood, and Hollywood says, no problem, I got this first down. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame. And that's why we're up here calling the game.
And everybody on the field had a pretty good idea. He was going to get the ball. Still picks up the first down. Hats off to Atlanta on that.
They go 3 wide receivers, 2 to the bottom of your screen. Dynasty in the I formation. Kimbrell now the back. They give it to Kimbrell on the draw up the middle, and Hubba Kimbrell has all kinds of room. And he picks up 7 yards on the play. Always love to see this guy back. He played for the previous Las Vegas team, the Las Vegas Fury, but after that played with the Queen City Corsairs last.
Yeah.
8th overall season in the league. First with Atlanta, 2nd and 3. We have 2 tight ends. Siege Falco down in at 2-point stance.
3rd and inches coming up here?
Is that Boo Chisholm in motion? Lined up as a tight end on a wide receiver lined up as a tight end. It almost works as we reach the end of the first quarter. Atlanta's in front 3-0. They'll be faced with 3rd and 1 to start. You're watching the SFL here on the Virtual Football Network. Colin Northrup, Rick Northrup here in the broadcast booth with you. Shout out to our statisticians, Ron Haynes and Corey Minner. As we take a look at the stats, Rick, and it's lopsided all the way around.
Yeah, you'd think the score might be a little more generous to Atlanta. But it's 3-0, still a tight ball game. Nothing really been established yet by either team.
And they give Hollywood the first down this time. I don't know. Given how the last challenge went, and Coach Vandelay says, if I can get it once, I'm going for it again. Let's take a retroactive look at the play. Get your console to play the SFL on the go at GoRetroid.com. And boy, Retroid and the Retroid Pocket are getting their money's worth today, Rick, already. As we get another close call to spot of the ball. And I think Coach Vandelay is right about this one.
I think he is going to be right.
And another successful challenge from Florida. So they get an extra one.
2 for 2.
Because yes, Rick, they did go 2 for 2. And I tell you, if Atlanta fans had tomatoes, they would probably pelt them in the direction of this referee.
They're a little besides themselves. They're 0 for 2 on these close first down calls. See if they can make it all for naught here and pick it up.
They're going for it on 4th and 1 again. Is Dan Campbell coaching the Atlanta Swarm? Oh, no! And time Atlanta doesn't get it. Daniel Wright, the man who had the interception, tackles Atlanta's number 34. Oh my goodness.
I just, we're stringing that play out, and that never really had a good gap or hole for him to make the cut. And a lot of this Storm guys just flowed to the ball. I think the defensive line kind of got a little in the backfield there. They had the better push, and that started that play off on the long foot.
Ball on Florida's 36 now. They had 8 total yards offense at quarter, -4 passing yards. That'll go a long way. Stephen Bush hauls in his first catch of the game.
Nice little catch in stride, in between the defenders.
Boy, I tell you what, between the Oklahoma City, Queen City surprise shootout last night and the begin goings of this game, the boys on this week in the SFL will have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I think so far the exciting part of this game has been the challenge flags. We're sitting on a 3-0 score with Atlanta in the lead. 9 minutes to go here in the second. I'm Rick Northrup, making the pithy comments. Play-by-play man is keeping you up to speed, Colin.
That's me.
Thank you.
As we have Guy Clausen.
A goal line here.
Kamazak lined up at tailback. Normally he's the fullback. He gets tackled by his old teammate, number 69 there, Alex Dominguez. Decorated Hall of Fame player. Has played an end. Has been playing tackle for these past several years. Here's a 3rd and 1 for Florida. Let's see what they have here on their bag of tricks. Max Paul is the offensive coordinator, and he calls a run to Boletsky, and
there they
so
go.
he picks it up for the first down.
That moves the sticks. See how well Florida is able to keep this drive alive, Colin. Last time they got down into this area, they were throwing a pick.
I'm seeing something unusual in Atlanta's defense. I'll point it out to you as it is played. That's Bettis rather, picks it up the middle, and Jonathan Sullivan, the other defensive tackle for Atlanta, is down and injured. You hate to see it. I saw Grant Hardaway standing in the Mike linebacker position.
Did you?
From his free safety position. Hardaway is 6'3", 222. They're quasi linebacker size.
Yeah.
Allows them to play more flexible DBs on the field.
Let's not miss that Sullivan was able to walk off the field under his own power. It didn't look too worse for wear. See if he comes back in the game.
Here's the give up the middle. This is Kamazak bursts through the hole on the big fullback. Finally brought down by Jim Miraculous, who for the first time in his career a year ago was an all-star selection, Rick, and he made an all-star saving play for his ball club right there.
Yeah, what happened to the Mike linebacker? You just talked about it, the announcer curse. As they, that was the Mike LB's play all day long. Nowhere to be seen.
3 carries, 25 yards for Kamazak. Boletsky gets another carry, picks up 4 yards. It's 2nd and 6 coming up. Opening week of the SFL is always exciting. We're honored to kick off the Saturday evening block with you all as Kamazak plows ahead for a pickup of yardage to make it a 3rd and 3.
Just kind of keeps his feet moving and gets an assist here and there from some linemen and moseys his way down for 7 yards.
Rodney Smith lines up as the fullback. He swings down to the backfield. Here to throw out to Boletsky. Stopped the yard short.
What a play.
Aquana Shine with a really good play there. And Florida will send on their kicking unit.
Aquana's time to shine. Shine time.
This is going to be a 28-yarder. Tough angle at the right ash. Almost in front of the goalpost. And he splits the sticks with ease. So it was 6:24 to go in the first half. following a 54-yard drive. We are all even at 3 apiece.
Wow. You know what's interesting is this game is not on track to hit the over/under dividing line of 48. You know, halfway through the second, we've only had 6 total points scored.
Kickoff is away. Fielded at the goal line is Siege Falco, and Falco up the middle makes the juke. Cuts to the outside, has room to the 40. He's up over the 50.
Look at him turn on the
go 30, 20, 10, and touchdown Atlanta. Oh my! Siege Falco goes almost 100 yards to the house.
Well, he heard that they were behind on points in the game. So he takes it upon himself to score. And it's funny, right here, he turns on the Jets. Look at that.
Outran everybody.
He can even outrun the low number guy. Number 30, who's that? He's actually pretty fast.
That's the reserve player.
Yeah.
And Kaka is the law as Siege Falco scores to put his team up 9-3 pending the extra point. Sammy Steele puts it up and through.
Oh my.
Everybody excited.
Well, just like that, Colin. Boom. We got a touchdown. Thank you so much.
There's Justin Reside, general manager of the Corsairs. His team played a really gritty comeback second half. They were down 14 points and won 38-31 as the return by Griffiths gets up to the 23-yard line. Ooh, I feel like we need to hit the reset button. Breathe just a little bit.
Well, that finally puts some pressure on one of the teams. In this case, the Florida offense needs to
They got a field goal.
See if they can match.
Here's a pitch play to Boletsky. Hardaway with the stop for a loss of 1.
Well, let's see.
Clock ticks under 6 minutes to go.
Colin, let's see if that Florida defense has a little extra pep in their step as a result of that exciting kickoff return.
They got a bunch to the top of your screen. I know you love bunch, Rick. And the throw goes to Vandelay along the sideline. They'll make it a 3rd and 3 as he crosses just past the 30-yard line.
I am intrigued by the bunch. I believe there's a lot of opportunity to confuse the defense and the secondary with that. I don't say run it every time, but there ought to be a standard part of anybody's offensive package in the SFL, in my opinion.
3rd and 3. Here's Cochran back to throw it from behind, and down he goes. It's sack time. And Barron went the rookie defensive end. That's his first career sack in the majors, and Coach Vandelay can't believe it. Nobody blocked the rookie.
Nobody blocked that guy. Somebody blocked that guy from the blind side, too. Lucky to hang on to the ball there, Colin. How many times you see that unannounced blindside tackle also jar the ball free? I'll answer. Many.
Marcus Agrippa on the punt. And this is exactly what Florida did not want to have happen following the explosive special teams play. Siege Falco on the return. Oh, he was about a broken tackle that took him away from making something big out of that, but he gets tackled at his own 43. We've made it to 2025, and that means the 2025 SFL convention is right around the corner. It's headed to Baltimore, kicking off the league's 25th anniversary season, July 10th through the 14th. Join SFL Nation at the rooftop pole of our Hotel, the Hyde Regency, looking out into Baltimore's Inner Harbor. You can reserve your room now at the special group rate at simfl.net. Rick, I can't wait for the SFL's first convention on the East Coast.
Yeah. And punch up a little point about that. Some of the organizers are making personal visits to SFL family members to invite them to the convention in Baltimore.
Yes.
Yeah, right? Am I right? Oh, that's what happened. I think Chris and Skippy Curtis know about that, having received Mike Daggs in their home.
As Kimbrough gets knocked out of bounds, it'll be 3rd and 3. looks a bit slow to get up, but he appears to be okay.
I think Dag's like, that college coach going on these recruiting visits. Sits in people's living rooms, tells them about how great it would be if they came to Baltimore, what they can do. Trying to get the parents to agree.
3rd and 3. Hollywood stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
Ooh.
Great tackle made on the play by Carroll, coming from behind in run support to make the hit in Florida. Old serve, and we get our first look of the day at the Atlanta punter, number 9, Ken Miller.
Don't look now, but while I was busy not paying attention to the game, Florida forces a punt.
Ball was fielded at the 10-yard line. We have a flag down as Vandalay gets tackled just short of the 20-yard line. Oh, and they're going to call a clip.
Ooh.
They're going to call clipping on Florida, so that's going to back them up a little further, back them up to the 10. And Coach Vandalay, he's beside himself. He can't believe the lack of concentration from his specialty teams.
Right, let's see if we can see it.
Oh, yeah, definite block from behind. And he went low on Kimbrell there.
Yep. You got to keep an eye on that. You don't want people getting injured. It's a tough game already. Don't need to make it any harder.
1st and 10 from the 10, 3:22 left. 10-3 our score. And Florida has a long way to go. They want to score a touchdown. Bolobeletsky picks up 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7. Once again, special thanks to our statisticians, Ron Haynes and Corey Minner, keeping track of the facts and figures for us, making some of us sound way smarter than we really are.
Hey, what? Some of us. And some of us just aren't sounding smart at all. I see what you did there.
Bettis gets the pitch, and he will pick up about 2 yards to set up a 3rd and 5. I tell you what, Caleb Griffiths and the rest of this front office, Ryan Davidson is director of player personnel, assistant director of player personnel is Deontay Stoneborough. They've done a really good job keeping this roster intact. This throw down the middle, Vandalay on the reception out on the field, and well, most likely be the last play before the 2-minute warning, Rick, as that is a beauty down the field by Ron.
Indeed.
They don't have to snap it before 2 minutes.
But they do.
But they do. It's a sprint out. They try to throw short, but he's tackled for no gain at the line of scrimmage. And guess who brought him down? Number 35, Anthony Weil, is Ron Haynes. Calls in his first ball of the season. We've reached 2 minutes left in the first half. You're watching the SFL here on VFN, the Virtual Football Network.
Florida's been kind of spotty. Sometimes they've been on offense. They've been pretty productive. Other times like that, hurry up and snap it before the 2-minuter and get stoned, and they do it again.
They went short to Valensky, but he went backwards a yard.
And inexplicably, there were 2 Atlanta defenders on him almost immediately. What happened to the blocking scheme or the package on that? I don't know.
The offensive line was definitely out to lunch that time, as we have a bunch to the bottom of the screen. Cochran will roll the other way. Throw down the middle. Caleb Griffiths with the catch near the midfield stripe, and he's excited as his team converts a 3rd and double digits. The lefty just finding a cool, calm place to zip the football in right between 2 defenders, including Chris Henry, who had the interception earlier in this ballgame. 120. And Florida now moving smartly to the line. They quick snap it, throw it to Boletsky. Wiles there again for a loss of 2 on the play. And now Florida will call a timeout.
That's they're in love with that screen to the right side, Colin. How many times are we going to see that on this possession?
They're now down to 2 timeouts. You see Ron Ains lined up in front of Boletsky in the eye. He's got 3 wide receivers. They get slot man motion from Vandelay. Nobody goes with him, so they tell the quarterback it's zone cover. Back to throw. Dump off again to Boletsky, and he just short-armed that one. It's 3rd and 12.
I keep throwing to the running back or the wide receiver on the right side there behind the line of scrimmage. One of these times it's going to work.
Well, it didn't work that time. 12, 107 to go. Sprint out again. Throw down the middle. Griffiths has it. First down, and Florida will call their second timeout with 62 seconds left. And Glad Clausen is wondering the same thing in the chat that I was just a few minutes ago. What is this play caller?
Exactly. I thought I was wondering that. Doing my material. You.
Cochran throws, tipped in the air.
Oh my gosh.
Falling backwards is wild. Former member of the Indianapolis Ramblers, and see the numbers for Cochran. He's up to 56 yards. He's at 8 of his last 10, but he's probably wishing he didn't throw those 2 completions for a combined -3 yards.
Let's see what they've got cooked up here, Colin.
Cochran offset eye. Quick drop. Throws. It's caught! Oh! Caleb Griffiths to the end zone. Touchdown. That's what he wanted to cook. The DB went for the ball.
Yep.
And missed, and Griffiths got it instead and made reservations for 6 points.
Was that a streak? It's like he came off the line, and just like that, he was getting behind the DB. Boom.
King Henry going for another pick.
That was crazy.
But he came up empty.
Yeah, I don't think he had much of a chance because he certainly wasn't prepared to turn his hips and run downfield with him. Well, okay. Let's go.
We're an extra point away from it. I was 52 seconds left. And one of the more unlikely touchdowns you'll see has knotted this game up at 10 apiece.
And Jay, miraculously, we're at 20, nearly to the halfway point to the over-under split at 48. How about that?
11 plays, 91 yards, 40 yards on touchdown reception. Cochran to Griffiths. And we have 52 seconds left to go here in this first half. Kick is away. Teach Falco will bring it out of the end zone. He had a kickoff return for a touchdown last time, but only gets up to the 24-yard line. Hey, there's one of your big fans, Harish Prasad.
Exactly. I'm not sure what I made him laugh about. Maybe it's just my general lack of ability at commenting on football, or maybe it was an actual joke. Anyway, thank you very much.
48 seconds left. Atlanta has all 3 timeouts, and they'll start off with a run here. Hollywood gets racked up at the pick of 3 yards. And I think Atlanta's just content to run this clock down and go in the locker room tied at 10 apiece. Quick drop by Dynasty.
Ooh.
Oh, that was almost picked off.
Man.
That was read perfectly by Evan Carroll.
Almost a pick 6 there, buddy.
He read that one like an open book that somebody just left laying around.
He screen peeked on the coach's play calling tablet.
3rd and 7, 21 seconds left. Pass intended for Roosevelt. Luke goes in motion to the top of the picture now. Trips to the top side.
Playing man.
Barber.
He's got to find somebody.
Bryant throw. Caught. Harwin down. Past the 40-yard line in Atlanta. Despite the no, they're not calling timeout. They're just taking their time. Look at this cat spinning behind his back. tackle made by Smith. And
nobody cares. Clock's gonna hit triple zeros.
Questionable clock management aside. Still a very entertaining first half of play.
I don't know why rip it downfield like that and not try and do it again, right?
Well, let's take a look at the facts and figures from the first half of play.
Please do.
We're all knotted up at 10 apiece.
I got a knot in my stomach. It's a tie game. Here we go.
Cochran, 10 of 15, 107. Kamazak leading rusher for Griffiths. The 3 catches for 70 yards and the touchdown you see there. As he broke the plane. Dynasty 5 and 9, 43 yards.
There we go.
Falco broke the plane.
Coast to coast on that
special teams touchdown.
One of the most exciting plays in football. 100-yard kickoff return.
There's Griffiths, player to half. I would have given it to Falco if Atlanta was still in front. Anyway, let's take a quick halftime break presented by Breaks GPT.
We just pulled a full-size Taylor Swift helmet. Shout out to all our Swifties. Travis Kelce. This is a Giants Lawrence Taylor.
Patrick Mahomes.
Chad Johnson with the Ocho Cinco.
We have a Drew Brees.
Is that an O.J. Simpson jersey? It's an Aaron Rodgers. Oh my goodness.
Tom Brady! Tom Brady!
Break into the world of sports memorabilia collecting with Breaks GPT, featuring signed football jerseys, helmets, photos, and more. Breaks GPT offers you a shot at winning autographed and authenticated sports memorabilia at a fraction of the price. Join the community collectors on our Breaks GPT Facebook page and lock in your shot at hitting an humongous headliner on our site, breaksgpt.com. Kickoff down in the end zone, ball comes out to the 20-yard line. And boy, Rick, only 20 points scored between the teams combined in the first half, but they were probably the most exciting 10 points you'll see.
Possibly, especially the special teams.
Throw down the middle, and it's tipped and knocked away past the end for Vandalay, who can't believe he didn't haul that in. As we go to SFL HQ and Cameron Irvine.
Thank you, Colin. Houston hosts Chicago today, and it's DR Sim at running back in the end zone for Houston. The Headhunters have 34 offensive plays to Chicago's 11, and they lead 10-3 late in the second quarter. Back to you.
Oh, DR Sim moving to running back. I did not have that on my bingo card.
The doctor now makes house calls.
As Vandalay goes up the ladder and makes the catch.
Oh, very nice. Well, while he was in the process of being tackled, very nice. ER Sim out in the open field, that'll be fun. Expect more highlights from that guy.
Yeah, new position. Sort of an unexpected change. He's the SFL's all-time receiving leader in just about every significant category you can think of. Cochran back to throw, and Cochran throws down the field. Oh, Doctor, what a catch by Vandalay as he hangs on at the midfield stripe.
Well, maybe Sim's taking a page out of the Caffrey family playbook. You know, it could be the running back, catch the ball, be a receiver, be a slot guy. Even play a little QB if you need me to. Right?
Yeah,
I you don't turn yourself into a Swiss Army knife. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah. Cochran back to throw. Underneath it. Oh, it's dropped.
What?
It is dropped by number 49 out there. And oh boy, he's probably wishing he could crawl under the bench and hide.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
His coach is going to chew him out for that when he gets back to the bench.
Just let it get in on him. Into his chest a little too far. Couldn't find the handle.
Indeed, couldn't find the handle.
80 in motion there, Colin. And there's not some good, they don't have the right coverage. You got to find a receiver. Oh,
Here's Ron sprinting, throws back. Oh! Zach Clay made an outstanding play on Vanderlei, who was going for the ball, and it's 3rd and 10.
You know, with they had 3 guys out there to the left side, Colin, and there was only 1 DB in the picture. I mean, there ought to be, they got to have an emergency route or a signal. Somebody, one of those guys can get open, run to an open spot, and turn around. Not sure what happened.
3rd and 10. Ron back to throw. Fires deep. Oh, what a catch by Griffiths. Oh, man. That's got to be the nice hands catch of the game, brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it. SFL 4K23. Unbelievable reception there by Griffiths.
I think that's the key for the Storm. Stop hitting guys that are wide open and throw into tight coverage and make them work for it. They'll catch it in that case.
Here's Vanderlei in motion. Cochran sprints out to that side, throws it over the middle, and Aquanashine knocks it down.
Lucky that wasn't worse, Colin.
Yeah, he's lucky that Shine didn't hold on to the ball. We know he has a tendency of doing that throughout his long and illustrious careers. We see Sullivan is now back on the field. 2 receivers to the bottom side. Back to throw is Ron. Sets, fires underneath, catch made. Guess who? Vanderlei.
Another difficult catch made by your Florida Storm.
3rd and 6. Back to throws, Cochran again. Runs out of time as Lyle comes from way back in the secondary to bring him down. It's 4th and 14 now.
As a timely sack, for sure. A long field goal if they attempt it, Colin.
They say it's a 9-yard loss on the sack.
Are they spotting the ball? Yeah, I was going to say, it's 40-yard plus attempt.
They're going to officially call it 43. Remington Sneed. And he splits the sticks.
And they take the lead, Colin.
10 plays, 52 yards. And they're able to salvage 3 points out of that, Rick, but after driving the ball so well, they have to settle for 3.
Well, an important 3 points because that puts them in the lead. Now that forces Atlanta to play chase here in the second half, Colin.
We have 7:12 in the 3rd quarter still remaining.
We talked from time to time about who's got the pressure on them, and it's shifting over now to the Atlanta offense, Colin. They need to keep pace. They don't want to give the ball back to their opponent, obviously. Never want to, but critical that they possess the ball and are able to put some points on the board, in my opinion.
1st and 10 at the 30. Dynasty, the native of Hawaii, steps under center. High wind in motion to the top of the screen. He is Carroll following him in man coverage. Hollywood gets the carry, and he carries defenders 4th for 9 yards.
2nd and 1. That seemed generous, but okay. It might be 2nd and 2. Maybe I should have yelled 2.
Here's Kimbrell now in the eye. Let's welcome in Chad Rowland to the chat. Sold his Indianapolis franchise, and he helped found with Adam Wiseman to Robert Cherry in the offseason. Now player for Carolinas. Kimbrell knocked back forcefully by Ryan Tobin, number 53. Third and 1. Atlanta down by 3. They just need to get just short of the 40-yard line for a first down. Hollywood back in.
On goal line again in their formation. And look at that.
And they stop him.
Just as the ball snapped, Half the Florida defense is in the backfield. What happened? See if we get another look at that. That's incredible.
Well, I think that was Pete Mitchell, number 98, on the stop. For Florida. No, that was Tomelo, the defensive end, who has the official title of Dr. Alessandro Tomelo. And Vanderlei breaks his tackle here on the punt return. He's up over the 30, steps out of bounds just short of the 40.
Well, and Atlanta sadly punts the ball back to Florida, and they have a nice return, Colin. They get some pretty good starting field position.
Just went to the sideline. You're always telling runners when we're watching games on television, hit the sideline.
Hit the sidelines. Come on. Everybody's looking for that one big, cut that's going to earn them the Heisman. When you're fast, you can beat people on the sideline, pick up 3 to 4 or 5 yards, and keep moving.
Ron Haynes, the tight end in motion. He just has 1 catch for 0 yards today. Unusually super quiet for Ron Haynes, the player, but not so much the stat man, as Cochran takes off and runs and manages to gain 4 yards out of that.
Got mauled on finally by the defense there, Colin. But yeah, there was a man coming on the blind side. Somehow he sensed it and took off, right?
Indeed he did. At 2nd and 6, nice play by Ron. There's Kamazak, gets the ball, breaks the tackle, and takes a first down.
Gets the ball, gets a first down.
There's Chris Delro in the chat. He says, a little late, but two of my favorite commenters and 2 great teams. What more could you ask for?
Wow, you're too kind. Very, very kind. Thank you. Nice to have people join us. Don't forget to smash that like button. I don't know if that was a read or not, Colin, but it's always good to remind everybody.
220 yards now for Florida, only 116 for Atlanta. So the early numbers have totally flipped in the opposite direction as Boletsky gains a yard. Tackle made by Spicoli that time, I know for sure, number 56.
Danger is his business.
As it's 2nd and 9. Approaching fast, under 4 minutes to go here in the quarter. Atlanta trying to get a stop. Throw, one-handed catch. Vanderlei has it for the first down. They'll give it to him.
And just a perfect read and call by Florida as Atlanta sends some extra attackers. That ball's got to come out quick. It does. And they pick up the first down.
You see the numbers for Ron, 15 of 24, 178, a touchdown and an interception. Averaging just over 70 yards per completion, quarterback rating 81.6. As that incompletion to Kamazak will bring up a 2nd and 10. Rick, I have a question for you.
I got an answer, no.
How many likes do we have on this video so far?
Oh, let me see here.
Well, it's not enough.
It's 36.
Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you got notifications on so you won't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action. Help the channel grow through your support.
I happen to know from my friends at the internet company that there are more than 36 people watching. I hope there's more than 36 people that like this broadcast.
3rd and 11, Florida. Now facing another 3rd and double digits.
I'm trying to hold them maybe to a long field goal here.
Sprint out by Cochran. Throw back middle. Vanderlei has the ball for the first down. Tackled at the 15 by Weil, but not before the chains are moving down the field.
Instead, Atlanta elects to hold them to a first down. Yeah, that's right. I laugh at my jokes.
7 grabs on 10 targets for Vanderlei. For 96 yards. There's Boletsky once again tackled for a loss. This time a loss of 3. Jay Miraculous on the hit.
Florida moving in to add to their lead. They'd like to make it a two-possession game here as we're winding down to the end of the third quarter. Colin, you got to start counting possessions at the end of the ball game.
Here's Cochran, throws to the end zone, touchdown Griffiths, his second of the ball game.
They convert. They will take a 2-score lead, Colin, and in a slow scoring game, Florida has suddenly put up what may be an insurmountable lead. We'll see.
19-10 pending the extra point. 2:19 to go. As you see the number for Griffiths, he's at 114 on just 5 grabs with a long of 40, 23 yards per catch. This is average according to our stats here. 9 plays, 61 yards, 3 minutes, 19 seconds taken out the clock. It's 20-10 our score.
Of course, Griffiths' stats are skewed by that one long one, but still, the average stands. Right?
Indeed it does. We have kickoff away, and Atlanta is yet to score an offensive touchdown this ball game. And it returned up by Dyson to the Atlanta 26-yard line. As you see the numbers for Falco there, 53-yard average.
Wow.
Of course,
Hey, he's
heavily
got
helped up by that big return.
Yeah, was that 99 or 100 yards? I'm not sure what they gave him on that one. He seemed to catch it right on the goal line.
2:14 to go in the third.
We talked about pressure being on Atlanta the last offensive possession, and it definitely is here now. And the Florida defense playing with a little house money. Take some gambles, take some risks here if they want to.
Gain of 2 on the play, Daniel Wright on the tackle. Second and 8. Always good to be back in the saddle as Wright is now up to double digits in tackles. He has 10. Dynasty back to throw. Down the middle, over the head of the intended receiver. That was Falco, who had a step on his man, but alas, the ball was just too long.
Too long. Exactly.
3rd and 8 for Atlanta. 4 wide receivers out and at him. Kimbrell, the single back behind Dynasty. Roosevelt, the man in motion. Takes the ball from center, does Dynasty. Now he'll sprint out to the right. Throw back middle. Tipped and incomplete. Looking for Roosevelt, but alas, nothing doing.
Yeah, I don't know if that was his primary target all the way or if that was a bailout throw. Either way, near disaster.
As you see the numbers for Dynasty's last 10 pass attempts, he's just 4-10 for 34 yards. Of course, the one interception. We welcome Ken Miller back on the field for yet another punt for Atlanta. Gets this one away, it's high. Fair catch called for at the 37 by Art Vandelay.
And Florida's been starting in that 30 to 40 yard line, their own 30 to 40 yard line of several possessions.
Wow, just a startling stat pops up on the bottom of the screen here. One play of 10 or more yards. That was the 17-yard completion toward the end of the first half.
Wow.
To high wind, I believe it was. This Steven Bush reaches up for a refreshing one-handed catch.
Well, the Florida Storm defense in the process of pitching a pretty good ball game here, I think.
They are indeed. They've just allowed a field goal on defense. The one touchdown came courtesy of a special teams Herculean effort by Siege Falco.
And there's another vocabulary word right there, Herculean. Look at that. So we had haberdashery and now Herculean. Look them up.
2 tight ends on the field. Here's to get to Beletsky. He picks up 4 yards as we're now in a minute to go in the third. Florida in firm control. Up 20-10. These are two teams in the SFL Eastern Division. This year, Thomasek gets the carry. Motor had to set up a 3rd and 3, along with the two Carolina teams, both the Skyhawks and the Charleston Predators, and the Nashville Tempo. Third and 3. Cochran under center. He's just milking this clock down. We'll give it to Boletsky. He's stopped. 3 yards short of 6, and Jeff Spicoli feels good about himself. Put your numbers in chats, folks. For 12, 86, 68, and of course for Atlanta 93. You're watching the SFL here on VFN. Colin Northup back here in the broadcast booth with you. You're watching the Simulation Football League action here on the Virtual Football Network, the official network of SFLM, the SFL, and the UFL. And there's so much more coming soon. The Virtual Football Network, where all the best virtual football lives. So Atlanta gets the ball back here to start the 4th. Ginkel makes the tackle down on 12 to 14.
Feeling successful that they kept Florida off the board with it on that last possession anyway, Colin. And Atlanta needs to get busy here. Stating the obvious.
It's 1st and 10 from the 14. Dynasty turns, gives to Kimbrell, who, no, Hollywood rather, who smashes Ed for a 3. Just been unable to find many open holes tonight. Only 52 yards on 18 carries, 2.9 yards a carry. Kimbrell 8 carries for 25 yards.
You know, they had... Oh, and I was going to say Atlanta had some success. First drive or two. But they've been largely stymied here.
I'd agree. It's a 3rd and 7.
You gotta get creative. Have your best 8-yard play here.
Only 3 of 11 on 3rd down is Atlanta in this ball game tonight.
See, they got some coverage issues on the left. Throw there. No.
Throw down the middle. Falco in the reception. And you get another 10-plus play yard down the field. It's 1st down Atlanta.
That's what I'm talking about. Yep, he just gets lost in that zone. And Falco's able to find him.
Only 13 total yards gained by Atlanta. 30 yards gained by Atlanta in this second half of play. They had a 108 at halftime. Florida up to 139 this half. Hubbard Kimbrell's wide open. And there goes the big guy down the field. Up over the 50 before one Mississippi strikes him down.
That was made by the tight end on the left side of the formation. He just explodes out and engages the linebacker. You can see him there. And that just cleared out that whole side. Well done.
Good pad popping going on down there. 1st and 10 for Atlanta. They're down 2 scores, but they are moving smartly down the field. They've hit a couple big pass plays here to start. Dynasty now 7 of 14 for 79 yards. He gives off to Hollywood. Hollywood picks up 4 yards, one of his better runs we've seen. His longest is just 9. That last pass reception by Kimbrell went for 18 yards. Thanks to Corey Minner and Ron Haynes keeping track of the facts and figures for all of us. You know who's been really quiet? Boo Chisholm. He has been held without so much as a target this game.
Really? Yeah, that is unusual for this Atlanta team.
And that was Steve Falco's first catch he had been targeted 3 other times previously. So at least he's on the board, stats-wise.
Yourself on the board, 3rd and 4. Again, down by 10. Every play, every offensive snap is so critical right now for Atlanta.
Back to throw. Dump off to Hollywood. Broken tackle and a spin move for the first down.
Yeah.
What a brilliant clutch play made there by the veteran.
Yep, you got to get when you need stuff done. You could do worse than get the ball to your stars, your vets, right? Single-handedly picks up an extra 7-8 yards after he breaks that tackle.
Just want to remind everybody, a couple games coming up later in the block: Lexington, Baltimore, and Fort Worth at Los Angeles. And then the Sunday games are Carolina and Denver, and Bossier City and Nashville.
While you were reading those, there's a quick slant that was dropped, incomplete, brings up 2nd and 10.
Clock stopped at exactly 7:01.
Got a stacked line to the right. Let's see.
Dynasty back to throw. They send the blitz. Dynasty has to run out of there. Throws back across the middle. And it's complete. Evan Carroll with sticky coverage.
Very, very well covered. Very well covered. Well, 3rd and 10. A field goal will help, but a touchdown will do more.
You need a score of any kind this drive. Dynasty has to remember he has a field goal in his back pocket. Sammy Steele has already made one. Dynasty back throw.
Oh!
Behind, he's sacked, but we got a flag down.
Uh-oh.
Way downfield.
Face mask, D.
D
Or no.
face mask.
Yeah.
Incidental. And we'll replay the down. 5 of 14 is Atlanta on 3rd down. 6 of 11 is Florida.
Back to having kind of a field goal in their pocket.
Dynasty throws wide open. It's Highwind. Fox Highwind, that is. Down just shy of the 10. It'll be first down.
And the Atlanta bench is fired up. They're sensing they're going to get one of the scores they need here on this possession.
Well, I have your attention. I'd like to remind you season 24 kickoff week continues tomorrow with Denver and Carolina and Bossier City, Nashville kicking off at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's another exciting block of games here on an SFL Sunday right here on the Virtual Football Network. Should be a lot of fun. As the throw goes up to Erlot, and he's tackled behind the line. Had to go back for the ball, but this time, by the time he turned upfield, it was too late.
Too late. Right, that's one of those balls, you know, you just, as a quarterback, you look and go, this isn't really going to go anywhere. Just zip it over the heads of everybody into the stands. As it is, it's short, behind the line, and the clock was still moving.
And Ryan Davidson
Holy cow.
steps in front of that pass, and that is a backbreaker.
Oh, that hurts like crazy. Taking away one of the scoring opportunities of the 2 that Atlanta needs. Oh, no.
Pass intended for Roosevelt, thrown short and returned upfield some 14 yards by Davidson.
Wow. That hurts. Oh, no. See what the people in the chat have to say. Atlanta's not going to be very happy, and they shouldn't be. Let's see if the defense can get them off the field after 3 and out.
Throw on the rollout, going backward, but he manages to fight back to the line of scrimmage. And for the second time this evening, let's go to Cameron Irvine with a game break.
Oh, man, watch this, Colin. 10-3, Houston's up, but Derek Majors with this interception with 1 spin, 2 spins, and he's gone, but he stepped out of bounds, and it's called back. Houston still leads Chicago 10-3 in the 3rd. Back to you.
Oh, back-breaking swing of momentum.
And here in Atlanta,
Here in Atlanta, Cochran fires down the field. The Vandelay, who's just showing off.
Yeah, making up for that one that he dropped when he was wide open, and that was a good. He had some good hands on that catch. Well, now they're going to be working on the clock here as much as they can.
Roll out. Throw over the middle. Catch made. Look who it is. Ron Haynes. And for the first time all game, Ron has a catch that goes for more than 0 yards.
Backhanded compliment there. Always a fan.
Ron, he does great work on the stats and is a fantastic human being. He's met him a couple times.
Exactly. And I like that play as a rollout. He turns around and looks, and he may have spotted him all the way. Rolls out and bang as soon as he's open, and he's wide open. Delivers the ball.
Bang, zoom as Kamazek gets the ball, breaks off a tackle, and gets tackled exactly 5 yards down the field. Bang, zoom. What am I turning into? Jackie Gleason?
Bang, zoom. You've been watching too many Batman TV shows.
I guess.
All right.
Bennett ground game by committee. Kamazek leads 7 carries, 45 yards, long of 16.
We got everybody up tight for Atlanta. If someone gets behind them, look out.
There's Haynes in motion.
They get tighter. That's in a run.
And it is a run, and the blitz was perfectly called. Shine blew that up almost immediately as he took on the guy lined up at fullback, but Grant Hardaway ultimately cleaned up the mess on ILATL.
Great defensive call right there. And maybe a missed audible by Bryant Dynasty on that.
Cochran,
sorry, yes.
As it's 3rd and 5.
Right, nice Cochran Dynasty. My bad. Who's playing?
I have questions. As Kamazek gets the ball, he gets stopped a few yards short of sticks, I believe.
He does get stoned.
They are not in field goal range. Shine on yet another tackle.
You know, you could make, well, first of all, you should run it down to the 2-minute warning and then figure out what you want to do from there. Not the worst thing in the world to turn it over to Atlanta at this part of the field if you want to go for it. Don't snap it. What are you doing? They're lined up for the punting operation, though.
Good clock management there by Florida. You see Marcus Agrippa there. Adam Jones.
Well, they were punting.
Corner, captain of the special teams unit. Agrippa angles this one. No, it doesn't take a Florida bounce. Out of bounds. Instead, it bounds into the end zone for a touchback.
What are they going to get? Like a net 20 yards on that? Something like that?
Yeah, more or less.
More or less.
1:51 to go. 20-10 our score. Atlanta takes over in their own 20. 1st and 10. Dynasty dumps it underneath Hollywood. Gains about 9.5 yards, we'll call it. As he steps out of bounds, clock stopped with 1:47 to go. So we'll take a look at the upcoming opponents here for both squads shortly.
Not sure what they're going to do with this. See what happens.
Dynasty to throw again. Down the field this time. Open as Roosevelt. It's his 2nd catch of the game, and Atlanta immediately goes to the bag of timeouts and uses one.
Yeah, they're bag of timeouts. That was interesting, too, because they kept the running back in for extra protection. He didn't even need to engage anybody, which meant, you know, Florida had an extra person in coverage, and they still found him. Good job.
Dynasty with a bunch to the top of the screen. He's back to throw. Goes toward the bunch side. There's Booches with his first catch. And it'll be a pickup of 2 yards. Daniel Wright on yet another tackle.
And stopping the clock. Saving the timeout.
Indeed. As it is now 1:37 to go in the ball game. Back to throw. Down the middle, Chisholm with a nice one-handed stab. And timeout number 2 expended by Atlanta.
Some of the best offensive sequences we've seen here for Atlanta, Colin. Unfortunately, here it's in the last couple minutes of the ball game.
1st and 10. Ball marked at the Florida 35. Dynasty. Lofts it up. Falco dropped it. But Daniel Wright was on him like white on rice.
There you go. That's a good one.
For Florida next, they'll host the Sin City Samurai. That's the formerly the Canton Classics at home.
Sin City.
Sin City equals Vegas. Mexico City is their first road contest of the year before 3 consecutive divisional games starting in week 4, the 25th of this month, versus Charleston. For Atlanta, they travel on the road to both Minnesota and Charleston before hosting Atlanta in week 4. They have a week 5 bye. Florida has a week 7 and a week 9 bye, but play at Lexington.
Oh, nice.
Green as Roosevelt catches it for the first down. Now they're out of timeouts, and here comes the hurry. Throw. This is Arrowhot. He'll get stopped for a pickup of 4. Oh, that's Chisholm now.
Yeah, trying to get this thing in the end zone in a hurry so it can move
have a shot. And they do! Fox Highway touchdown. They're not dead yet.
Not dead yet. Not quite.
With 59 seconds left as the throw to the sideline pays off with a touchdown pass.
And probably Atlanta manufactures a really good looking drive here, Colin. Now they did have to burn some TOs and stuff along the way, but that's the best they've looked all game.
I agree with you there, partner. As Sammy Steele boots it through.
All right, stay tuned for your onside kick, Colin. I don't know what the stats are. Maybe one of our stats guys or maybe the home office might know. What's the percentage chance of success on all onside kicks in the SFL? At 5%?
Sammy Steele kicks it. Oh, but it was touched by Atlanta before.
It was.
10 yards.
Did not go 10 yards. Illegal touching.
Now Atlanta will kick off from their 25. So they don't lose possession, just back it up a little.
Oh, my goodness. It looks like they're going to kick away. No, they're not. Here we go. Let's go. All right, everybody had a practice roll.
Oh, and they did it again!
This is delicious.
It's Fox Highland on the Ants team who touched the ball before it went 10 yards.
What's wrong with the kicker, too? I don't know, man. It's a combo, right? It's a team game. The funniest thing will be one of these will be successful, but they'll get the ball 80 yards away. Oh, no, they don't get it. They don't get to do it again. That's it. I thought they were just going to keep re-kicking.
Oh, that would have been funny, but I don't think Atlanta would have preferred it after the first 2 times.
In my alternate universe.
Oh, my goodness gracious. I've never seen that before.
Well, this has been interesting. We're going to end up at 37, so the under will kick in. Atlanta is getting 4.5, so the betting public that we're picking Atlanta will pick up some extra pocket change.
Indeed. Always want to start off your first game on the right side of the ledger as opposed to the wrong side of the ledger. Ron Haynes says it was an ugly win, but there was nothing ugly about the numbers he provided us. He and Corey Minner did an outstanding job. 20-17, our final.
And they're not all works of art, are they, Colin?
And the numbers are fairly close, Rick. I'm curious your thoughts.
Yeah, no, and they scroll by so quickly. It's hard to get a good analysis on them. But yeah, score was close. Stats are reasonably even.
2 receivers over 100 yards for Florida. 11 tackles for Daniel Wright. He's probably in running play today. Some unusual sacks and 3 total interceptions by these squads. Cochran, 22 completions. 23 completions for 274 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an INT. Dynasty, 18 of 29, touchdown, 2 interceptions. Well, both of these teams learned something here in week 1. Hopefully, Atlanta, for their sakes, can come out 1-1 instead of 0-2.
Yeah, I think Florida learned their defense is, probably pretty good, and Atlanta's got some work to do on the offensive side of the ball. Well, it's been a pleasure calling the game with you tonight, Colin.
Yes, and for our statisticians, Corey Minner and Ron Haynes.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, gentlemen. And Cameron Irvine, executive producer extraordinaire back at SFL HQ. Thank you all in chat for sticking around with us and dropping your comments. We appreciate it. Thank you all, and good night.